All right, everyone, good morning. I am back at that comic show that I went to about a month ago where I picked up a number of pretty cool books, and so thought I would come back, check it out again, see if there's anything new this time, anything else that I want to pick up. So let's go check it out. All right, so went in there, ended up picking up one book. I was in there for a while. I was just browsing around, checking out a number of things. You know, I've been trying to hold back on purchases a little bit, so I just picked up one this time, but I picked up some other books recently as well, so I'll go over those too, so we're not just talking about one book in this video. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. This is a great show. I definitely enjoy coming to this one, and glad that it comes up every month. All right, so we are back from the show, and like I said, I just have the one book that I picked up at that show, but because one book isn't enough to talk about in a whole video, so I also have this package that I recently bought from, it's a number of books that I picked up from Instagram, and then one book that I picked up from eBay, and one of the books that's in that box that I picked up from Instagram, I have been looking for that book for over 2 years. So I am very, very excited about well, all the books that are in there, but definitely one of the books that are in there. It was also pretty cool. First time I've had somebody recognize me from the channel out in the public when I was at the show. And I'm really sorry if I get your name wrong. I am not great with names, but I believe it was Jim with Battlefield Comics. I know I got Battlefield Comics right, but he called out my name and said hi, and we chatted briefly. So yeah, that was fun. It was great seeing somebody that watches the channel out there. If you ever see me out there, I'm always happy to talk comics. So yeah, but let's get into these books. If you hadn't watched my video that I did last month, this is the same show. And so this is a monthly show that's in my area. It's split with comics and cards. I did a little walkthrough video in the last one. I didn't do that in this one. This time I was just kind of going around searching through bins and that kind of thing. And it's a great show. I really like it. There are quite a few vendors for something that's put on monthly. I think I've estimated maybe 12 to 14 vendors, something like that, which for a monthly show is pretty great. And there's a big variety of books. You've got plenty of modern, bronze, silver, and then actually a surprisingly good amount of Golden Age books, which was the surprise to me last time, because this is the first time I'd gone to that show last month. And so it was a surprise to me to actually be able to find some Golden Age books. But this time, like I said, I only bought one book. Part of it is that I have been dialing back my purchases for the near term because I have some other expenses and things that are coming up. So I was really more on the lookout for some more affordable books, really kind of like looking for some deals out there. So this is the one that I found. And something I've noticed when I've seen videos of people like either flipping through boxes or just at the shows, like seeing people flipping through boxes, I'm always surprised when I see people going through and they're like skipping multiple books at a time, because you never really know what book you might be skipping over. And this was a perfect example of this, because this is the only book of this type that was in this box. Now, this is a Golden Age book. It's a pre-code horror book. And in that box, there were other Golden Age books. But when I see like a box of Golden Age or whatever it is, I'm going to check every single book, because you never know what that next book could be. And in this case, this is a book called Strange Stories from Another World #4. And it does have a big, now this is residue on the bag just because there's a sticker on there, but it does have a tape pull that's here as well. But the main image, which is what I want, is this guy here, this like zombie creature coming out of this swamp. And this is a great cover. I was really happy to see this one. So he had it, the guy I bought it from, he was great. I talked to him for quite a while about just a lot of different stuff, but he had it for $160, and I didn't even offer or anything. He's just like, oh, I'll do $130. And so hey, I took it for $130. I thought that was a great price. I think this is probably somewhere in the 1.5 to 1.8 range. I'd value it at like 250 to 300 bucks. So I was really happy to get this for 130. I'll show the back cover too, because the back cover on these ones, they look pretty cool. I think it's the same publisher that did This Magazine is Haunted books, because I think it has the same back cover. But yeah, so here's the back cover, this Beware Terror Tales. But just great colors. Like this is generally the back cover you see on these. But you can see like there's some pieces missing out of the spine. There's, it's a lower grade book. It's definitely a lower grade book. Piece out of that corner there. But, it's actually attached. It is attached at both staples. And you've got really the great art on there. You know, it's a great kind of like painted cover. And those painted covers, they often don't seem to get as much attention, but there are some really great painted covers out there, and this is definitely one of them. This is a awesome pre-code horror book, so I was happy to pick this one up. He definitely had a couple other books I was interested in, but like I said, I was trying to dial back my spending a little bit, so yeah, I'll put that one in later. So I didn't pick anything else up, but for 130 bucks, I thought that was a great price and just a really cool pre-code horror book. All right, now the next one. This is the one that I picked up on eBay. My buddy Jake with Spec Tales. So if you haven't checked that out, go check out the Spec Tales podcast. He had mentioned that he saw this one pop up too, and this is an example of why I have eBay alerts set up. But this is one where I think I woke up in the morning and turned on my phone. I had an email alert for this, and it had just come out. And this is Famous Funnies number 214. And so if you know me, this is one of these Frank Frazetta covers from the Famous Funnies run, 209 to 216. I love these covers. I have a 3.0, slightly brighter. My copy, you can tell the reds are slightly brighter on this one. This one, it was sold as a 3 to a 3.5. I think it's probably a 2.5, but I was fine with that. That's what I was expecting, you know, and that's what I like about buying on like eBay, is that if you have really good pictures, which this one did, I can evaluate them and I can think I can look at what I think the grade is going to be. I don't have to worry about what someone else grades it as. And so I was thinking it was probably about a 2.5, and I don't think it's quite as nice as my 3.0, but I can show this one too, just out of the bag. But you can see there's some tape along the spine here. There's a split that's like here, and that's why that tape's there, but it's attached. I believe it's actually even attached to both staples. The interesting thing about this, and then here's the back cover, there's some staining and things. You can see the tape more clearly then. But it's a complete book. Give you an idea of what the interior art is not as great as the exterior art. But there's just an idea what the interior art looks like on these. But yeah, I'm always nervous, you know, when I buy books like this, just because, you know, you don't know if all the pages are there really until you get them, or if there's any restoration. And I didn't see anything that looked like restoration on it when I checked it. All the pages are definitely here, attached to both staples, attached to the centerfold, all of that. The interesting thing with this one is that, I said this in my other video when I talked about these books, every single copy of this book that I have seen prior to this one, or almost every copy, has this printer crease right here, right above the Frank Frazetta. This one does not. This one does not have that printer crease. But I mean, I've seen super high grade copies that have that printer crease right there. And this one doesn't have it. So it means it's not on every book. It's just on a lot of them, but this one doesn't have that printer crease. So just something I thought was interesting. But yeah, if you like this sci-fi type stuff, the Famous Funnies run from 209 to 216, some of the best sci-fi covers of the Golden Age done by Frank Frazetta. And they have definitely gotten a lot more expensive over the last couple of years, a lot more attention on these books. And like I said, 214 is my favorite cover. 213 is definitely the most pricey of the covers. All right, now for what's in this box. Now, there are 4 books in here, but I'm only going to show 2 of them. The reason for that is that 2 of the books I bought specifically for my building a comic business with $300 like project. You know, the video that I put out recently. If you haven't watched that one, go check that one out. Where basically I am, actually there should be 5. There's 5 books in here. I'm pretty sure there's 5 books in here. But so for that one, there are certain books that I'm targeting, or certain price ranges for books that I'm targeting, where I'm trying to. I'm taking an initial $325 investment and then seeing what I can turn that into, like I'm building a new comic business from that. And so 2 of the books in here are for that. So I won't show those. I'm going to show those in specifically a separate video. But let's see here. So I had forgotten, I bought books from this seller on 2 separate occasions. And so he shipped them together, and that's why I forgot there are actually a couple extra books in here too. So I picked these up on Instagram. I bought these from, it was a Grails Comics live sale. This was from the seller that goes by the name Prince of Cheese. So he always has some cool books. So make sure to go, you know, if you're looking for, it's not just Golden Age stuff. He's got silver and modern and all that kind of thing. But if you're looking for some cool books, go follow him on Instagram.
A few moments later.
All right, so I got the tape off of those. Here are the first two. These are what I picked up on his like secondary sale. And this one was, so basically like he got a collection in, and he had a primary sale where he was selling the books, and then he had a secondary sale where he discounted them pretty heavily to like kind of like move the remainder of them. These are the ones that I got at that discounted secondary sale. The first one here is America's Best Comics number 14. This is in Alex Schomburg cover, which is one of the main reasons that I picked it up. So I can't remember what the grade is. It's a pretty nice condition copy. You can tell from here. I think he might have had it at like a 6 or something like that. But regardless, it's a pretty solid presenting copy. But yeah, let's take a look at this one. We'll just check out the do a quick check of the kind of the condition of the book. I think that'd be kind of interesting because this is a really solid presenting copy. So you can see there's really good, let's see if I can get the glossiness here. Really nice cover gloss. You can see you've got a little bit of a crease, you know, kind of along the spine here. Maybe it's like 4 inches, 4 or 5 inches, something like that. Nothing really too bad. There's like some light indentations over on the edge here, but that kind of thing could be pressed out if we wanted to. On the back, I don't think this is staining. I think there's just a little bit of foxing. So if you're not familiar with foxing, that's what this is. It's these little brown dots that you'll see on these books sometimes. But yeah, overall, really solid presenting copy of this. Like I could definitely see this book in the 6 to 6.5 range. You know, it looks like everything looks fully attached. No like real holes or anything like that on the cover. There's a little bit of tanning, and if you've seen my recent videos, you know like they've been killing tanning. So you can see that tanning on the top and the bottom edges. So there's definitely a little bit of tanning that could maybe hurt it a little bit. I don't think it would get down into the 5s. I do think that this looks like a 6.5 book. I mean, like one of the things I always like to show, see if I can get it to show up on camera, is like how you can see the different layers of ink. Like when it's a really, yeah, there you go. You can see it like on the Black Terror over there. You can see just that really nice sheen to that. And so, yeah, I could see this book doing a 6 to a 6.5. I think that probably seems pretty reasonable for this one. But yeah, cool book. You know, just those older Schomburg covers, because you can see it's got Schomburg written right there. What year is this one from? It's from 1945. So it's a World War II era cover. Looks like there are definitely some like World War II themes. Yeah, definitely World War II themes on the interior. You can see like the fighting Yank. He's fighting Nazis over there. So definitely some World War II themes in this one. So World War II era, Schomburg cover, 1945, and in a, you know, kind of like a 6 to a 6.5 range on this book. Seems like it's pretty reasonable for this one. And you've got all these more obscure characters on here, like I think it's Fighting Yank, and then it's like Doc Samson, I believe, something like that. And then this is Black Terror. I always love seeing the Black Terror covers because he looks like he's the villain. You know, he's like wearing all black. He's got this like skull and crossbones on his chest, but he's actually, you know, he's one of the heroes of the Golden Age. But yeah, America's Best number 14. Then the other one I picked up was Master Comics number 16. And this one, I can't remember if this is a Raboy cover or not. I think it might be, but I don't remember for sure. But still, I just thought it was a really cool looking cover. You know, kind of like the patriotic, you know, American flag shirt with the Minuteman. You know, that's his name, Minuteman. But yeah, Master Comics 16. These ones have a number of like Captain Marvel Jr. type covers as well. But yep, I thought this was a cool one. So pick that one up. But now the book that, let's see, the book that I've been looking for 2 years is in here. And I was talking to him afterwards, and it's funny, he said, he told me that he's like, his DMs were full of people that were jealous of the fact that I picked up this book. So I'm definitely happy that my internet was just a little bit faster and allowed me to get this one. And I'll do that one last. Save that one for the end. Everything packed well again. You know, they're in Gemini mailers, all that kind of stuff. All right. Give me a second and get this tape off of these.
2,000 years later.
All right, so I set the 2 aside that are going to be for the other video. And we'll start with this one here. This is another Schomburg cover. I have never owned this book before. It is an awesome cover. This is Brick Bradford #6. It's this great robot Schomburg cover. And this one definitely had some like water damage, that kind of thing, some wrinkling. But I will almost certainly be getting this one pressed to get it to look a little bit better. You can't really, you know, I guess you can do something about the staining if you want to send in to somebody that does stain removal. But let's check this one out. So yeah, so you can see the kind of like, see the rippling kind of on the cover, but that can generally be pressed out to really improve the look of that book. But the colors are great on this one. Let's take a look at the back too. So you can see the rippling on the back too a little bit. But yeah, Brick Bradford #6. This is just one of these classic Golden Age robot covers. Really, really cool. Page quality is actually pretty nice on the inside. Probably like off-white. I don't think it would get cream. I think it's probably like off-white. But yeah, I mean, definitely some staining and that kind of thing, but you can at least improve the overall appearance of the book with a press. So this is one that I'm pretty certain I'm going to end up getting this one graded. I'll do the page count and everything later, but yeah, solid presenting copy. I mean, the staining always makes it a little trickier on the grading. What do I think this one could get? I mean, after a press, I think it can get in the 3s. I don't know if with the staining it could get into the 4s. I don't think it will get stuck in the 2s because it's solidly attached. Nice colors, you know, everything. And if we can clear up that kind of like the wrinkling with the pressing, you know, I think that'll really help it. Also got a little bit of a spine roll, you can see here. So, you know, fix the spine roll as well. And yeah, I think in the 3s is pretty likely. So, cool book. All right, so that's that one. Right, so now this is the book that I was most excited to get, and it's not that I wanted this specific book. This is actually from a pedigree, and so what this book is this is WOW Comics #29. It's a 6.0 white pages copy, but the important thing here is that this is from the Okajima pedigree. Now, it's not just important that it's from the Okajima pedigree. It's from the Okajima pedigree, and it's from 1944. That is a huge deal with this pedigree. So if you are not familiar with the Okajima pedigree, this was a woman that was in one of the Japanese internment camps in the United States during World War II. And she was there from like 1943 to 1945. And she was a comic collector. She would go and buy, I think it was 2 days a week, 2 or 3 days a week. She would go and buy 1, maybe 2 comics. And so the total collection is thought to be about 1,000 books, but in terms of identified copies, it's like 350. And so there are very few. It's like the smallest pedigree, but to me, it's also the most historically significant pedigree. You know, sometimes people argue, you know, like what's the importance or value of pedigrees, but this one really does have a significant history tied to it with this woman that was in one of the Japanese internment camps in the United States, yet still managed to keep all these books for all those years. And they were eventually purchased by a number of collectors in like a are pickers, I think, basically like a number of pickers in kind of like an estate sale. And they found their way to certain comic shops who then there's a couple of them that ended up really taking detailed notes about them. And that's how we actually have this pedigree identified. But like I said, the important thing is the 1944, because that's when she was actually there. The collection goes through to like the early 50s, and she got out of that internment camp when the war was over in 1945. But this is one of the books from when she was actually in that camp. And so that I have tried to find one of these books for 2 years. I mean, they don't come up. They never come up for sale. And I was so shocked to see this on an Instagram claim sale. like when I saw that and I saw 1944, I had wow typed in already, and I was just waiting for the price, because that was how you did the claim. It was like you had the name and then the price. And so I was waiting for him to show the price. He showed it and I typed it and sent it immediately. And I was lucky enough to be the one that got it first, because this one actually comes with one of these certificates of provenance as well. This is one of the ones that was purchased by Heroes Comics. So it says Heroes purchased 415 of these books in July of 1995, which is believed to represent 1/3 of the total collection. So Heroes was one of the ones that actually took the detailed notes on these books, and then what ultimately ended up getting them certified for this. Well, they didn't get them certified, but ultimately is one of the things that allowed this to be pedigreed. Because part of the challenge is that some of them have identifying marks, some of them don't. This one actually does. It has this, these were known to have this number and a letter next to them, and they were like sequentially counting up. You can also see it has a date stamp there, 8/12/44, which is pretty cool. Now this one does not have, or at least I can't see it, does not have Okajima written on it. Some of them have Okajima written on the top here, especially only during the war period, but I'm guessing partly because the cover is black, that's why it doesn't. But I do have one other Okajima pedigree book, and it is also one of the ones that was certified by Heroes. And but this one was from 1948. So, and also an old label, which I thought was interesting. So, but this one from 1948, and so this is not from when she was in that internment camp. This is afterwards when she was still continuing to collect comics. The other thing that I thought was cool is that a lot of her collection was books that were for women or for girls, and so that's why I thought this was pretty cool, because this is what you would picture someone, that's like a girl or woman collector, in the 40s. You could see her buying like these Mary Marvel type books. So that there are a lot of like good girl art type covers, like the Rangers comics, and then there's comics like this, like WoW comics. There's others as well, but yeah, so I was definitely very excited to be able to add another one of these Okajima books, because this one is definitely on the keeper list. This book is not going anywhere. I'm definitely going to be, I was actually waiting for this book to show up, because I'm going to send in a number of books to get recased, and I want to get that gold label. And so both of these I'm going to be sending in to get that gold label with the Okajima, pedigree thing on there. But yeah, so definitely very happy about that. So hopefully you saw some cool books in this one, especially like this. I mean, like I said, these Okajimas alone hardly ever come up for sale. I have probably seen 5 in the last 2 years, one of the ones I bought, and Okajimas from 1943 to 1945 never come up for sale. Never. And so I was blown away when I saw this on there, and so super excited to have added that book. So again, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. I've got more videos over here if you'd like to watch some of my other videos, and the subscription button right here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.